Hey, everybody. What is happening? Welcome to another episode of Watchers Week. It is a nerdy podcast for nerdy people because that's who we are and that is who we care about. Today, as always, we are going to be discussing one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies leading up to the release of Avengers Infinity War coming out April 27th, 2018. So, man, we're so close. We're so close to it. Um, Today we're talking about Avengers Age of Ultron. And with me, I am joined by Timothy. How's it going?
Yo, hey, uh, super excited to watch this movie. Uh, I'm a monster, or maybe I'm not. Not sure if I was one. I don't know. How's the quote go?
You can't mess up
I,
a vision quote, okay?
I, I know, I know. I
Oh
apologize.
my. All right, let's take it away. Let's go to Steven. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I don't know about you guys, but over here the sun's getting real low.
Okay, that's
See,
good.
that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
That's
That
how
is
you
pretty
do.
good.
All right. So this Age of Ultron 2015. We're going just not too far back, just a little ways back. Uh
Second Avengers movie sequel.
yep. And I have to say that for myself, when I first came out of this movie, I wasn't thrilled by it, but with each viewing afterwards, it has improved tremendously. How was it for you guys? Like your first experience and what you think of it now in retrospect. Let's take it to Steven.
I'm kind of the opposite. I really loved this movie when it first came out. Nothing but action-packed scenes. But then I realized, rewatching it again, is that half the time the Avengers are sitting around kicking it and just chilling. For example, like in Hawkeye's house, going through old boxes to find the Claw guy and the vibranium, or they're just having a party. It's like that's one half, and then the other half is hearts pounding action scene, making the movie overall kind of boring or kind of dull. So
I
Oh,
I
I
do
don't
see
know.
what you're saying. Yeah. I mean,
kind
I see what you're saying. I don't agree with it necessarily, but yeah, I see where you're coming from.
kind of just hitting it on both ends of the spectrum. No healthy middle.
Yeah.
What
What?
about you, Tim? Are you the middle ground?
Kinda, yeah. I was super excited when this movie came out. I like, I didn't do a full cosplay, but I kind of got dressed up in like Avenger gear. I was really excited when they said, we knew that the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were going to be in this movie. Like that was a huge step toward eventually getting the X-Men in this. And like I think that's what made everyone psyched for this movie was that it was like, oh geez, so like, the whole Fox and Marvel Studios Disney deal, was that going to go down? Were we going to eventually, was this going to lead into the mutants, into the world of the MCU? Like this had so many possibilities. And I mean, just overall, a great looking sequel to again a global phenomenon that was the first Avengers. So stepping into this movie, I was really excited. Stepping out, I guess I just my hopes were a little too, I set the bar a little too high. But I mean overall, I think it's a really good movie.
Yeah, for me, uh, like, yeah, I agree with everything you guys have said. Um, but I think just now that we have the other movies that we have, such as Civil War in particular, like, I don't know, like I feel like the this movie and Civil War go hand in hand. Like it's almost like what people say about A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. You can't
Hmm.
really have one without the other. And I kind of feel that way about these two, this movie and Civil War. I feel like this is the New Hope where it's not as good as Empire, but I think it's necessary and it gets you appreciate it more over time.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And I kind of disagree with Steven a little bit, though, when he mentioned the downtime. I kind of really like those moments because we get to, I mean, I think that's what a lot of times in comics, when you get to know the characters a bit more, like that whole after party scene when they all want to try to lift up Thor's hammer. I thought that was really great. I love that scene.
Yeah, that
Um,
scene was really great, and it sets up, what's to come with Vision and him lifting up the hammer, and that great moment. Um,
I'm just
the
surprised it
scene
took him
though,
this long to
yeah,
do it. Like I would immediately, as soon as he set that down, like, here you go, Thor. Oh, what? Huh?
the scene though that I think Steven might be referring to is as far as things getting a little too like boring, might be the uh what is it? What do y'all call it? The
Hawk
hawk
House,
hen house.
the Hawk.
Hawkeye's farm.
Yeah, what do y'all think about that?
Yeah, like I said, it's you know what? It's the amount of downtime they had. Like this is okay, this is kind of going on with how the bad guy is shown in this movie and how he's supposed to be like, the age of Ultron, and yet he's only in the film like, 45 minutes, like he's only wrecked it the world like for 24 hours almost. And yet like they're like kicking it. They're like just you know what? Let me change clothes. Let me take a shower. I'm like, what? What the hell? No, we're dealing with an evolutionary AI that has a god complex. That's trying to make destroy the world, and yet you're over here trying to get some and trying to help your buddy out cut some firewood. I did. I mean,
Uh,
they were great scenes. They were great scenes, no doubt, but I don't think maybe in a different movie.
I I I personally wasn't paying attention to all the, kind of personal things that the Avengers were doing, all the individual little activities they were doing when they were at Hawkeye's thing. I could have sworn they were building up to Hawkeye dying in this movie,
Oh
especially
yeah.
especially with his there's a new baby on the way, his pregnant Gilmore Girl wife, and his this is my last job talks with her. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my goodness. And then uh what else? What's it? Him especially not having his own solo movies. I figured all the people who had their own solo movies were going to be okay, and Hawkeye doesn't have any. So from both an in story and out of story perspective, I was like, is Hawkeye gonna die in this one? I was like, man, like we kind of just saw him only in Avengers, like the second movie to kill off Hawkeye. So I was totally worried the whole time.
Yeah, I know, no doubt. I think everybody uh, had the same feeling, like not just going into it, but coming out of it, they were like, "I'm really surprised Hawkeye didn't die." Like, uh, but yeah,
Guy sucks. I mean, you thought he would
Linda
eat it at one point.
Linda Cardellini, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. Was she in Gilmore Girls?
No, but she looked like she should be. I don't
Is
know.
she not in? Is she not in Gilmore Girls?
I know she's in Freaks and
No,
Geeks. I never
she's in
saw.
Freaks and Geeks. I'm an
Yeah,
idiot. I
it's
watched. I was gonna say I never even watched Gilmore Girls, but I totally watched Freaks and Geeks.
I'm sure she was a guest star in Gilmore
Damn,
Girls. Almost everybody nowadays has.
wasn't
I can't believe I whiffed that one, guys. Man,
I'm forgetting his name. I'm looking it up right now. But there was another guy from Freaks and Geeks who I'm pretty sure was in a Spider-Man film. I'm forgetting if it was Andrew Garfield. Oh no. It was the new one. It was
it's
Homecoming.
what it's Franco. Duh, he's Harry.
No,
He
no,
was
no, no,
Harry
no, no, no.
Osborn.
Well, yeah, he was Harry Osborn. There's this guy was a teacher. He played a teacher in Homecoming. Oh,
Must be a
geez,
really old dude then.
He was a
yeah,
teacher in Homecoming, but he was a
yeah,
kid
he was one
in.
of the geeks. All right, he's not listed here. It's taking too long.
As
They only have John Francis
anybody
Daly and Sam Levine. They don't have the
yeah,
other guy.
anybody who can cross the circle of Freaks and Geeks fan and the circle of Marvel fans definitely overlap at some point. So
I failed.
somebody
I'm sorry, I'm failed. But hey, this movie is actually all about failure. In fact, there's like a ton of quotes about like failing and you rise only to fall. And like I said, there's just so much great, like it's not just setup for the sake of setup for Civil War. It's like done in a really great way. And we've already talked in the past about how it's kind of poetic, uh, the relationship with Ultron and Wanda, where he tells her that, you'll be the one who will tear the Avengers apart. What do you
I
guys
was
think about that?
Oh, right, like the very first scene where they go and fight the Hydra base. I really like this one. And again, like you mentioned with Civil War, of the Avengers doing jobs that aren't like the global threats. Like I understand Hydra is technically a global threat, but the fact that they were kind of just like out there on a mission that wasn't necessarily world threatening was great. And the same thing with Civil War, where they will touch on when they fight Crossbones. But I thought that was like super cool, that we get to see them do like all these great Ultimate Alliance combo moves. Like Cap and Thor were on the ball about on that like throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, it was super cool. I actually, that's one of the things, that beginning fight scene. That's one of the things where my first viewing of this movie versus how I see it now. Because when I first saw it, I didn't really like that scene for some reason. I don't know why. I guess it was just too much CGI. But like,
It's heavy on the CGI, but
yeah.
yeah.
But like looking back at it, it was just so like freaking cool that they were able to do that, and that you can get the whole team. Of course, you have to use CGI because you're trying to capture all these people together without bumping each other's shoulders. But Steven, what are your thoughts on that opening fight scene?
It's like probably the best thing to happen in the MCU. I can't think of anything that can rival it with so many heroes on screen, so personal, the fights at points, and yet team ups, like Tim said. It's just really great. I'm trying to think of it. Civil War was one, but they were fighting each other, so that was pretty cool, I guess. But in its own standard, the Ultron army fight and this fight, it was just the team you know and love going against an uncountable force. It was just really awesome. I really loved it. It doesn't really explain a lot, though. You really had to kind of blind yourself and push away all the CGI to really hear what they were talking about and hear, the story behind it, because otherwise it's just mindless violence and just, big CGI, like Tim said. But if you get into the story, you kind of find out like, oh, okay, these are why the Avengers are fighting the normal guys, and it's not just humans, it's like artificial humans, or like I should say enhanced humans, because that's what they were saying. Like, these are more enhanced than the other people we were fighting at the other Hydra bases, and they have better technology, so we must be close to the scepter. And you're like, okay, this is why you kind of have problems, or why you need the whole team, and why you need Hulk, because otherwise you're just beating up poor human souls that were stuck with Hydra. If you're a Nazi, you're Nazi. But
but they are the Avengers.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah. I still, Baron Strucker, I can't get over that. That is something that won't improve with each watch. With his monocle falling out and very cartoonish. Was not a fan of that scene.
Language, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
the beginning took and the beginning gave a lot.
yeah. Yeah, some of the dialogue, like watching this movie again, is really, I used to call it like it was just like, I don't know, not lazy writing, but
CW,
yeah,
organic.
it was just quirky. Like it was really quirky. And that's what I call it now, is quirky, but back then I was really negative about it. But you know, the more I watch it, it does get a little bit better, but that Baron Strucker scene, get that out of here.
What
Um
I was gonna say?
oh
What was
yeah, what's up?
terrifying? What was really terrifying was Scarlet Witch's um not opener, but like first show of her when they first like glimpsed on her, and she like backed away slowly into the door, and the door closed on her. Oh,
I wanted more of that.
really? Because that scared the crap out of me.
I didn't like that. That was like it was like a music video almost. Like I don't know if you guys have seen the music video for that White Stripe song. What is it? It's not Get Behind Me. It's I don't know. It's a White Stripes music video
Blue
from
Orchid.
their
White
Blue
White
Orchid. Yes, yeah. And it reminded me of like some of the, stuff they did. I forgot what that's called,
Yeah.
where it's like rapid
It,
frame by
it,
frame.
rem- it reminded me of like a poltergeist kind of feel to it. And I liked it because they went for the kind of X-Men evolution type ultimate Scarlet Witch, whatever lady and version of Wanda. And I felt it like really fit the MCU thing. And I was like, man, I want some more of this. And they kind of did it again when she like hypnotizes Tony, when like they make her hands kind of do it. And I was like,
Yeah, see, that was cool.
the
It's not that
the
I wasn't
jittery.
I wasn't like against it. It was just the way they did it was kind of jarring in that moment.
Yeah,
But
I think that was the point. I just
yeah,
feel like
it was kind of like out of left field for me.
exactly.
But yeah, I guess now that we're on the subject of Wanda, like I get it. I know I've had this discussion with many people many times, but I know it's a fictional place, Sokovia is, but to me, it's based off of Russian, you know, I guess descent you could call it or
Is it
whatever.
isn't it based off like Czechoslovakia or something like that?
So Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, sorry, is that not Russian? I guess that's
No, I know Sokovia is. I think Czechoslovakian is. Uh,
is it Russian
yeah,
or
I
in
think that's
Russian?
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
yeah,
it
that's what
might
I was thinking of. So yeah,
have.
Slovakia, Sokovia, it's all the same to me.
It's Czechoslovakia
And yeah, her
or
accent
Czech.
in
Yeah.
particular wasn't the best for me. Like it did not please my ears and it is very biased opinion because my ears probably hear Russian accents different than other American, people's ears. And none of us really have it right because we're not Russian, but it was, I don't know. It was almost like phoned in almost like I feel like somebody could have done the accent a little bit better. What do you guys think about that?
Was that an accent she was doing? I thought she was just like hoarse from protesting all her life, like just screaming. I thought her voice was hoarse from that, or like she smoked a pack of cigarettes every day. I didn't think that was an accent so much of her like just lost her voice during the filming. Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't like it. You know whose accent I really liked was her brother's. That accent was on point.
Yeah. Like I
I
feel like he at least was
I feel
trying.
like how we need to progress this is I need to hear both of your guys' Russian accents.
Oh,
Oh no. Yeah.
I
No.
think I need this. I think I need this to come to a sound decision, a conclusion.
It's bad because I just do what everybody else does. I just deepen my voice, way too much, and it's just really bad. It's just bad.
you know, I'm older than you by 5 seconds, right?
See, don't ever do that again. All right.
It was very deep. I was surprised to hear
No.
Quicksilver and Wanda's older brother or dad, I guess. I don't know.
See,
I
what I
am
really
Magneto,
wanted,
yeah?
I
Oh
wanted
man.
Baron Strucker to deliver the line from Rocky 3, "I will break you." That would have been
Uh,
that would have been, whatever.
is he
Let's move on.
is he a mutant? Is
Is he-
is is he a mutant? The Russian boxer from Rocky. Let us know if he's a mutant.
No,
Oh
you
yeah,
can't say mutant. You gotta say miracle in this movie. It's back in 2015.
That never was a thing. Calm down,
oh my
everybody.
gosh, miracle.
Everyone was
Oh,
expecting that from the end credit scene of the thing. I was like, that is the dumbest thing ever. There's no way Disney or Marvel would have passed on that.
thank God we live in the times we live in now where Fox is, head into the MCU pretty soon, hopefully. but yeah, we got to move on. Well, I was gonna say though, really quickly, that the dude from Rocky is totally Colossus. But anyway, um, so not to jump the gun here, but let's jump into Ultron's birth. I really dug it. I thought he learned a lot quickly, or a lot quicker than Apocalypse, and yeah, I just really liked his birthing
What do
scene,
you
I guess
what
you
do
could
you
call
feel
it.
like? How do you like the look of Ultron? Before we get into the character, I feel like
This picture right here,
the picture.
is it the picture I have? Am I on screen
Yeah,
share?
yeah. No, you are. You are.
Okay.
I'm just. It's smaller on my screen.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
dug the
That's a
overall
good look.
look. I really dug the overall look because I was just looking at set photos that were leaked like before this movie had come out that I remember seeing, and it was a guy wearing like a half torso of Ultron, and it was a lot shinier. So I'm really surprised that they did go with more of a grittier look for the metal, um, a more like tarnished look, I guess you could say, or rustic or matte finish. It's not as shiny and polished and perfect. Um, so yeah, I really dug it. I just couldn't get past his mouth.
I felt like it would. Yeah, I was gonna say that having the the mouth movements. I don't know what was the thought process behind that. I kind of don't like it. I guess it's for like I have no idea what it could be for. I
Well,
mean, to be honest.
it doesn't make sense because there's so many examples of great, and I mean great, characters that their mouths don't move.
Right.
Uh, i.e., Darth Vader. We got V for
Wally.
Vendetta. Wally, yeah, and it makes these characters ominous, like especially the ones.
The binoculars from Toy Story. all these all these great characters.
Oh my god, I was not expecting that. That's a good one.
The animals from Homeward Bound.
But yeah, it would have given him a much more ominous presence, I feel, rather than because I think the quirkiness of of some of his dialogue kind of made him, and then combined with his rubber lips, it made him cartoonish. But had he looked somewhat differently, I mean, I think the dialogue we could have gotten over the quirky dialogue. But what do you think, Steven?
I was gonna say I really like it. I really like it. The problem for me was when he got an upgrade later on in the movie, and he turned like, and Iron Man even made a thing about it. He was like, "Oh, it looks like you've been pumping iron or something like that, or was it pumping vibranium?" Some kind of lame joke he said. But that look, I don't know.
Juicing.
He had like tusk, I think, closer to his mouth. It was more comic accurate, I think. But this look right here, I mean, the thin, menacing, tall, giant-looking guy. That's a villain for you right there. I think all the good villains are pretty thinly, which is a weird thing to say, but I'm thinking of like Yellow Jacket, Loki.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
slender.
Slender.
They're
Slender is scary, and that's very the great thing about it. With the mouth
I
thing, I don't know.
but
I don't think I would like it to be like Kit. Is it Kit from Kit and Ryder with Hasselhoff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kit.
with the whole like little scan bar, is that what you would be talking about? Like, how would his mouth be moving? I don't want that going on with his mouth of just like a red light back and forth.
No, I wouldn't want that either because they did that for the Young Avengers cartoon, or not Young Avengers. It was like their kids or whatever. It was
I think
pretty good.
I think
Yeah, it
that's
was a
Young
pretty good
Adventures.
cartoon. Was it called Young Avengers? I forgot. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did that for that animated film, and I didn't really like it. Like, I feel like it could have just been one consistent light, and then maybe if he does get really enraged, just make it glow brighter, like they've done. There was another movie where they did that. I can't think
I was
of.
gonna say I wouldn't mind if it flickered.
Flickering would also be really cool,
A
especially
flickering
when.
light that kind of goes with the volume, kind of like, when that bar reaches up. What are those things called? Those, what I'm talking about.
The ones that
Those
are
like
on the screen right now.
the ones that like are on a mixer, exactly. So like it like flickers with it, and then when it gets like louder, it gets brighter, and the light gets, or when he gets
Yeah.
angry, or it goes kind of with the motion. I feel like I'm very too tied to the comic book iteration of Ultron
Right.
that when I first saw this, I was like, it seems like somebody, like, I don't know, maybe it was like too much Michael Bay Transformers or something like that. Like I like a lot of the body. I feel like it's again just the face that messes me up.
Yeah.
Um
They
I
even
don't,
tried to give him teeth. Like I never noticed that till about the
yeah.
third time watching it. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I'm fine with the eyes. The eyes would be okay. Like
The eyes were perfect.
I feel like that's necessary to get a lot of the emotion in him, but I feel like the mouth is just like, it was totally unnecessary.
Yeah,
What's
eyes
with
are
it?
the windows to the soul.
Yeah, what's with it that superheroes can't get the mouths right? Am I right?
It's
Justice League
always
still going strong. 2018.
it's always the mouth area, dude. I don't know what's up with the mouth. It's those executives talking too much and they need to shut their mouth.
I was
But
gonna
yeah,
say the only reason why Ultron's face looks weird is because they had to CGI out his mustache.
he just
Pretty
had that
lame.
he just had that crazy mustache game going on.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
James Spader for you.
I like the handlebar look, but
It was like it's either the teeth or the mustache. One has to go. Which one am I gonna keep? They're like the teeth, I guess.
they were gonna CGI out his teeth.
So yeah, we get the birth of Ultron, and it's pretty cool. I thought of like him almost like thinking to himself or whatever, where he's like, what is this? And then he's like, no, and he's just like saying random stuff. I was like, this is actually pretty cool. But
And
then
then
we
he
get
kills
to
the guy.
that,
He
yeah,
kills the
kills
guy
the
in the first like 5 minutes of him waking up. Can you imagine that? That's a horrible experience. Just waking up Monday morning, be like, yeah, what's going
yeah.
on? I want to stab, and you're like, geez.
Well, you know, that's what you got to do. What you got to do when you're trying to save the world. I guess I don't know. Um, but yeah, then we get that scene of them chilling out, having a good time, which we kind of already talked about. Uh,
Jane is better.
right. It's true. It's true. You know, I'm Team Thor now. Team Revengers. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, we kind of talked about them, you know, having a good time, whatever. And then we get creepy Ultron, which was good for me up until the point where we get the Pinocchio line, and then
Yeah, they really drove that part into the ground. Like, I loved it in the trailers. I loved it in the very first part, just with the whole like creepy marionette kind of style of him in the broken, uh what are we calling those?
Iron.
Avenger, Iron Legion, yeah. Iron Legionnaire, whatever. I really liked it for that scene, and then for it to be throughout though was like, I don't like this at all.
It was just one too many times, especially the time when he was on the Quinjet and he was just like humming to himself. I'm like, dude, nobody's around you. Drop the act. Just drop
Yeah.
it.
yeah, for
Well,
me,
when you listen to it that many times, I mean, it does get stuck in your head.
for me though, like they should have only done it twice at the most. They did run it into the ground. What kind of made up for it was the line towards the end of the movie where he says, I'm forgetting the rhyme, but he basically says the world would be made out of metal, and he kind of gives
Oh,
a
that speech is
rhyme.
really good. The
Yeah,
only thing left in this world will be metal. I was like,
yeah,
oh, that's pretty
exactly.
good.
Yeah, and so that's where it kind of paid off. I was like, okay, cool. This whole
Hmm.
rhyming thing that's been going on that you've been repeating kind of paid off. But
I don't
yeah,
think
definitely.
I was gonna say, I don't think he rhymed in that one, but it definitely was a great, like, I could see the comic book Ultron saying that.
No, wait, that's what it was. I just remembered. Yeah, it was a rhyme because he says, oh yeah, he says when the dust settles, the world will be made out of metal.
Oh,
So yeah, I was like, that's pretty dope.
all right.
Didn't know Ultron could create a children's book.
I want that. Oh my gosh. I want Ultron's Dr. Ultron. I don't know. You can't rhyme Seuss with Ultron, so there's no way with doing that. But Dr. Ultranus books.
Anyways,
There's like a robot cat in a hat. It's like a little robot, and he's killing people. Anyway, so we got that. We got them chilling.
with Maria Hill, anybody else notice that was kind of weird? Like, it's kind of
One
like
bot, one bot, two bot, red bot, blue bot. I don't know. I was trying to do something with the robot. But sorry. Okay, I'm done.
no, Tim. Let's keep going. You know,
we get more of the twins.
Hop on pop. I'm just kidding.
Hop on dead body. Second dead body.
We get more of the twins, and we get Ultron in his cloak, like the classic comic book of his introduction.
Crimson Cloak or Scarlet Cloak? I guess it's Crimson Cloak.
Yeah, I think it's Crimson something.
Crimson Cape, Crimson Cloak. Anyway, real quick, I wanted to mention, because Chaz mentioned his great Ultron quote. Mine, I think, is pretty underrated. I really like when he says, like, I forget who he says it to, but he's like, the strongest metal on the planet, and they decide to turn it into a frisbee.
Oh, that was really good.
I was all like, that's. I mean, it's the little bit of the Tony, snarkiness, but I really thought that was good. I was like, hey.
I was actually thinking about that line too, because I'm really hoping that they somehow bring that back with
Cowl.
Shuri, and all of that when we're in Wakanda in Infinity War.
Oh, that'd be good.
Because I think when she sees the comparison between Vision and the frisbee, like, I hope they bring something up. But yeah, anyway, so we get
wait 1 second. Crimson Cowl.
Yeah,
Crimson Cowl. Okay.
Crimson Cowl. Yeah, so we get the Crimson Cowl, and I thought he was really ominous in this scene. The thing about this scene that I didn't like was the whole feel bad for me exposition by Quicksilver moment. My parents died. It was totally like I saw it coming. I was like, oh, here we go.
I'm a little baby.
Yeah, I was like, this is just trying to make me feel something for these characters that there was already a lot of speculation that one of them was going to die when this movie had come out. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was just like, okay, yeah, this is what they're setting up, because they're trying to make me feel something.
Yeah, real whiner that Quicksilver. Oh, wham, my parents are dead.
Well, it was
can't believe him.
I'm not trying to not sympathize with him. It was just like, I think it was the way they told the story, or like the way they wrote that story, their whole background story. I was like, it was just too much. Oh, they got like bombed or whatever. Like, could you make it any worse to making me like, because you're trying to obviously make me feel something. Yeah, they got bombed, and then they like totally like jumped off a bridge too. I'm like, okay, calm down.
Jeez, Keanu, where's your dead dog too?
Right, exactly.
I like how you said that, like, the film anticipated one of them dying, when I know for a fact you told us before the film started, hey, just to let you know, one of them's gonna die. I'll give you a hint. Bullet. I'm like, okay. That's pretty much how to kill everybody on this.
Wait. The audience has to understand that. All right, back then, I was a different person. I was super into spoilers, okay? And yeah, I totally like got info on who was gonna die and how they died. So that was the whole bullet thing.
Yeah. So I remember that. First coming up, I'm like, okay,
never forget.
Die. I'm glad you changed. He changed his ways. The dog did change his ways, and I appreciate it.
I changed, I got a new prescription. Okay. So see, y'all think I'm a doctor, but really I have like 5 doctors. So what were we talking about? Age of Ultron, yes. So yeah, we get Weiner,
I
Quicksilver.
I really liked uh War Machine's war stories. His battle stories that he told in the beginning where we got a little bit. And he was like,
Boom. This is what you're looking for?
yeah, nobody laughs. And then he goes over and
Oh yeah.
he tells a normal, like, but bunch of normal people, and then they're like, yeah, they think it's hilarious. And he's like, yeah, that's right. I'm so glad, like, for as little as screen time as my man Rhodey gets in this movie, they're all really great. So,
They
yeah.
were. I'm glad you remembered
I,
because I
I'm
totally yeah, I
as
missed
long
that.
as War Machine is in the film, I'm going to be talking about it. Let that be clear.
Yeah, I especially like his legs in that film. His legs are really great.
We don't get Falcon in this, right?
Yeah, at the
No,
very beginning when they were drinking and dancing.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's hanging out with Captain America,
was he?
and yeah, because he's like, hey, we're still looking for Bucky, right? And he's like, yeah, or something like that, along those lines.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
another
Yeah, because
movie.
then they kind of made up for his uh lack of presence in Ant-Man.
Yeah, it seemed like
I
he
was
was
thinking of.
just guarding the Avengers. What is it? Suit building, Avengers building, the new
Yeah,
one.
but he also shows up at the end when they do the whole new Avengers roster.
That is true. Yeah.
Oh, we haven't even talked about the introduction of Claw.
Oh yeah, Andy Serkis.
What a
Dude,
great character.
dude.
Especially after seeing Black Panther. If you haven't seen Black Panther, he's in Black Panther. But
Yeah, definitely see Black Panther because what I was fixing to say is that in this movie he actually wasn't my favorite.
Hmm.
Uh, he was kind of a weak character, but I mean, you definitely appreciate him more in Black Panther. In this one, I just don't think they knew who he was, like in terms of writing
Yeah,
and dialogue and all of that, and like his motives and what he was doing. He was just
I
kind of like
I,
a
I kind
smuggler.
of I kind of appreciated his whole. I know you're not in charge, and I only deal with the man in charge
That was pretty
kind of
cool.
bit. I kind of liked it when he got serious in that role. And then later on in Black Panther, did I appreciate when he wasn't serious and it was like, oh, okay, this is pretty funny. Like, yeah, I don't think there was that much comedy you could fit into the small role he has in this one, but
an even smaller role when he lost his arm.
yeah,
Just totally chopped it off. One clean swoop, which is weird to me. Again, and we're talking about Ultron because it's the age of Ultron, so we're gonna be talking about Ultron a lot in this film. But the part where he can cut a man's arm off, without even thinking about it, with just making grand gestures, getting slightly irritated, he can chop a man's arm off, clean, one hit, no done, doesn't even realize it, and yet he doesn't win. Like, it doesn't make sense why he doesn't win.
he's made out of vibranium.
Not yet. He wasn't
Oh,
made out of vibranium then.
isn't he?
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Oh,
That's his whole point of building Vision was he wanted a vibranium perfect, more human body.
damn.
Yeah, it was a little. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they knew how to use his character, and also there was some missteps with Ultron's character, of course. Um, but yeah, in that scene where he's introduced, that's also the scene where the Avengers get mind control this time, not just Hawkeye. Well, actually, Hawkeye doesn't get mind control, but I'm saying, like, yeah, he doesn't get. Everybody else gets mind control, but
Which
him.
is the part I love, that he didn't get mind control. Then his remark was like, yeah, I already tried that. Wasn't a fan. I'm like, oh, sad Hawkeye.
Yeah, it
All
was
your
a pretty
friends are
good
dead.
moment.
All your friends could be dead. You're just sassy.
Yeah.
Um,
And then we also got in that scene when they're being mind controlled, we get Thor's vision, which I feel is very significant for the future because I thought it was going to come to fruition in Ragnarok, but I think they're saving it. But But yeah, we get that vision. We get a little history on Widow, which was really cool. Don't see Red Sparrow. Definitely not. Skip that. Wait for Black Widow solo film.
It's coming. It's coming.
But yeah, basically this is the scene where the Avengers are being pretty much, divided. Not really amongst themselves, but just like broken up, defeated, bamboozled.
Yeah, but what upset me was that Ultron didn't do that. Scarlet Witch did that,
but it was under his direction.
I guess
and that's why his line. That's what I had brought up earlier, but I kind of jumped the gun. But I had brought this up earlier of his line that he tells her that you'll be the one that tears the Avengers apart. It not only played significance in that scene, but I think it's also, it's somewhat poetic going into Civil War because of what she does in that movie. But anyway, yeah, it's like it's twofold.
Yeah, I feel like the dynamic between Quicksilver, Wanda, and Ultron is really good in this movie. I feel like, I know you guys mentioned like, oh, I can't believe they, it kind of feels lame that they told them about their parents or whatever. Feel bad for me, but it goes on to explain why they're so like, why they're okay teaming up with Ultron and why they're against the Avengers and why even they were okay to like submit themselves to Hydra in the first place. I mean, I think they mentioned that to, Maria Hill brought that up when they were going, like, who were those guys? And Captain America says like, yeah, who would ever do that, or what kind of monster would do that or some sicko? I forget what he still calls himself. I think it was monster because there was a whole lot of monster thrown around in this movie. But I feel like the dynamics between the main villain and as well as these kind of, I guess, anti-heroes, I'm not sure what you call them, is really great in this movie because it's conflictive and it's not just like I'm evil for the sake of evil, but they have reasons behind it. I mean, same thing with Ultron in itself. I mean, the whole purpose of reason why he was created was to protect the world, and he thinks this way is, his way is the only way or the best way, I should say. I feel like maybe we could have leaned more toward the comic book version, or I guess what I'm recalling is again another animated series. I think it's Avengers Assemble, or Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I should say.
Oh yeah.
They had an Ultron thing in there, and that one was built by Hank Pym, like in the comics, and the whole thing about that was, I think, because he's the way he's built, because he's again built to help the Avengers and kind of stuff like that. He's built with like the same brain waves as Hank Pym, so he can't hurt Wasp in the series because it goes against that thing is, so he has to like capture her, kind of like a Doctor Doom, Invisible Woman kind of relationship there. But
I did not know that.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done that with this one. If Tony Stark builds him to like help out the world, his like prime directive is that he can't harm anybody directly, and then that's why he needs Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Is like, I can't technically hurt these guys directly, like that goes against my directive. But if I get lackeys to do it, then therefore like Claw and all these guys, then technically that these parameters are acceptable.
That
I really like, yeah, and I think that's why I kind of like what it turned out to be his main plan to be. Like, man, they really couldn't. All they had to do was change up some like dialogue or a few things and still keep the whole main chunk of the story to make it, I think, really good. Because the whole thing about lifting up Sokovia to smash it down, I mean, technically, he isn't the one destroying the Earth or whatever and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
again,
He's just building a rocket.
yeah, it's kind of like this what's it called? Well, and then he's letting kind of gravity do the work.
It's a
Um,
shortcut to his programming.
yeah. What's it called? What's that thing where you knock over a domino and it snowballs over and then like it does something?
Yeah, it's called the domino effect, I think.
Domino effect.
No, yeah, but those like machines that do it.
A
You know, like
domino.
the
Domino effect? Oh
Well,
wait, you mean Domino's? They make the pizza with the machines?
no.
Marvel things that whack each other.
All right. People mention down in the comment if you know what I'm talking about. All right.
No, but yeah, that would have been a really good idea, and like you said, they would have only had to have changed like a little bit of dialogue, which
Yeah.
probably would have been for the best because some of it was, like I said, kind of quirky.
Mhm.
But yeah, like, what was I gonna say?
I was gonna
Sorry,
say
I'm kind of
one of
what?
the examples for the dialogue could be the very beginning with Robert Downey Jr. and Bruce Banner and them talking about Ultron. To say like one little thing like, yeah, I found it in that trunk my dad had. Him and Hank Pym, some guy named Hank Pym, were working on something called Ultron.
Well, I didn't necessarily. I don't think Hank Pym is necessary, especially for the take they do on this Ultron. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate Hank Pym in the comics, but I feel like he's not necessary to the Ultron thing. My thing was just that it was more of we didn't create this murder robot, just out of like nothing. Which I mean, they kind of do. They're just like, all right, let's start up this robot that. Wait, no, wait. What do? They make it out of the Soul Stone, right? Or the Mind Stone, right?
Right. See,
Well, not Ultron.
Why do they make Ultron?
Oh wait,
out of
yeah, Ultron it is, yeah.
Or
Never mind,
no,
sorry.
yeah, because they make it out of the scepter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is that like they just do that and it's like kind of just inherently evil.
Yeah. To me though, like Ultron had the programming, I guess you could call it, of the Soul Stone, whereas Vision actually had the Soul Stone. That's what I meant by he didn't have
Mind Stone.
Mind Stone. Mind Stone, sorry.
Yeah. I could see that. It's just I just felt like there needed to be another kind of thing that kind of made Ultron interesting.
And I agree with you that I agree with you that we didn't need Hank Pym because we've already talked about in the past with regards to Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 that we always ask the question, what has Tony really invented? And now even with this one, even though Ultron was his idea, he still had to have the help of Bruce Banner. It's like, what are you smart?
He said something like to Bruce, I forget the second time they were building it.
He needs him for like the body parts because he hangs out with Cho, right? Cho.
Not Chow?
Yeah. No, it's a reference to Amadeus Cho.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and can you believe I cannot believe that I didn't know that was a reference to Amadeus Cho till like just a couple of months ago. I'm not even joking. Like, yeah, just a couple months ago.
I got you beat. I didn't realize till just now.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, speaking of, now that we're on the subject of Bruce Banner, because we're kind of paddling.
There's a bunch of stuff that each character does. So I think talking about each character is good.
Yeah. So now that we're on the subject of Bruce Banner, we're getting into the scene because we talked about them being all mind controlled. We finally get Hulk mind controlled, and it's not good. And Tony has to bring in Veronica. What did you guys think about the name Veronica?
I when they mentioned it before, when there's like without having to look for Veronica over your shoulder all the time, and I was like, what is going on? Are we not talking about Betty Brant anymore? That's like a low blow, guys. So I was like so upset that we like totally shrugged off Betty Brant. And then when it turned out Veronica was the Hulkbuster armor, I was like, okay, great. And I did that because I was like, Betty's still in the mix. Like that wasn't because I'm like, oh sweet Hulkbuster. Like I was like, oh okay, great, Betty's still in there. And then later on, they're all like, run away with Black Widow. I was like, oh what? We did shut off Betty Brant and these guys.
Yeah,
So
it was. What
roller
do you
coaster of
think, Steven?
emotions.
I was gonna say I really liked it. I mean, I was wondering eventually when are we gonna see sorry, an Avengers versus the Hulk, and we didn't really get that. We didn't get Avengers versus the Hulk, but we got the next best thing. Um, you know, just seeing the Hulk back into its like original rage. I forget in the Incredible Hulk, did he what? He didn't have control over it. Yeah, he did. Kind of did. He kind of could direct it toward people. But this time we got to see the Hulk, just pure monster. You know, Bruce Banner said like people saw the Hulk, the real Hulk or something like that. It was just amazing, the fight scene. The elevator being used as a tool, jumping up a giant building and then crashing back down on it. I mean, you can't get anything better than that. You know, even
Yeah.
I know what I'm saying because even in the first scene, the beginning of this movie, it was great because it had everybody. But this one, it had, you know, versus head to head.
Yeah. We do have to talk about the elephant in the room, though. And that elephant being that all of that destruction that happened, there really wasn't a lot of consequences, I feel like, until Civil War. Like, we see those people get smashed by the Hulk inside an elevator and then just get up and walk away. Like, none of them are bleeding. I was like, what?
This isn't Wakanda, right?
No, it is South America, though.
Oh, okay.
South Africa.
Yeah. I feel like it was, like, right at the border of where Wakanda would be at.
Oh, well, oh, yeah, that's right, Doug, because Wakanda is like, we find out later, is that. I was going to say, the actually, Invisible City Wakanda. My thing was, I was like, why didn't they mention that in Civil War later on when Wanda kills some of the Wakandans? But then later on, I'm like, oh, that's right, because this doesn't take place in Wakanda. Okay.
Also, the now that you brought that up real quick, because we're on the subject of Wakanda and we were talking about Bruce Banner as well. Why did Bruce Banner not know how to pronounce Wakanda? Like, I feel like,
because like nobody's ever heard.
well, I don't know. It's weird. He's like supposed to be super smart. It's like,
He's not a geographer.
I guess, but I was fixing to say that. I was like, I know he's a scientist and not a geographer, but whatever. Like, know your spit, dude. You're like a theoretical physicist or some crap like that. Like, come on.
It's because back in like 1940, the king of Wakanda told the world that we're out of vibranium, have no more. So everybody put it on the back burner, especially that it's a third world country. Everybody believed. So nobody really talked about it since 1940. So I can assume Bruce didn't really know about it. I'm surprised that they checked the branding. They're like, oh, look at this guy. We better check that branding. I'm like, why? He's probably drunk one night, did it to himself.
It means love and water.
Yeah. He was like, nope, gotta check it out. This one's a branding, that one's something else.
It's just brand. It's just brand. It's not branding.
It's not?
It's just brand.
Okay, it's Brad. All right.
So I feel like the character we're going to talk about the least, and we might as well just get it over with, is Thor. So like after they fight, Hulk and everything, they're all like kind of brooding and disbanded and whatever. Cap looks like he's praying. Hulk looks like he's going into Bruce looks like he's going into like some kind of drug remission or something. He's on the ground. Thor's brooding. So yeah, we get the farm scene or whatever, but then with his character, we don't get too much. Like he kind of goes off.
No, we get the best. I don't think it's the best scene. we get Thor's magic hot tub dream machine.
That's what I was getting to. Yeah, that's all we get after the this scene and the farm. Like that's it. That's all the Thor we get. I mean, besides the final battle, but.
Listen, guys, I need some answers. So if you need me, I'm gonna go be in a cave tub.
I could take a bath. Where's my squeaky toy?
It's an Asgardian thing. We think better in a tub of dirt.
You guys don't know about it.
You guys don't-
Cave water filled with guano. Just good old guano as a back scrubber.
Wasn't
Really?
there like a random old dude there too?
It's not a random
That was
old
like
dude.
scrubbing his back.
He was like, "Should I get in with you, Thor?" He's like, "No, no." I
You'll
forbid.
ruin everything.
The guy just gets electrocuted. Ah, sparkles.
Wow, I can see my own death from here. Get out of the tub.
He like goes into his like big old dream thing, and then he like comes back out of it, and he's like in there with him. He's like, I didn't see anything. Did you?
He has like cucumbers over his eyes. This is relaxing, though. I can see why you come here.
Isn't that though that thing called like the Infinity Well or something? And there's like one in every realm, but they're like in different places or something.
Yes, let's just go with that. Well,
I don't know.
there is a delete
Oh, okay.
where a person is like guarding it, or like, is the seeker of the hot tub or whatever, and she like warns. I think it's a she.
Are you saying that bathtub is in the comics? Because I don't think it is.
I thought that I don't know. I don't read Thor. No offense, sorry to anybody who's a big Thor fan or Thor reader. But I thought it would love.
I'm just kidding.
No apologies to you. But I thought that was something where it was called like the Infinity Well or something, and they're just supposed to be like they're like answer givers, like this one is, but they're like all hidden or something like that in each round. I don't know. I might be making this up.
There might be an infinity something, but I don't know of any well or water.
I was gonna say I don't think the rules are take your shirt off, jump in, and all will be answered for you or something like that. I thought it was like
naked.
each of them have a specific set of rules. One shirt off, one pants off, one just the socks.
One Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, exactly. I think in the comics it's supposed to be like you look in it and then it like ripples or something. I don't know. I might be totally off on it, and that was just a fever dream.
Yeah, I feel like besides two really cool dream sequences that have a lot of significance, that's all we get from Thor.
I think it's all just set up, honestly, for Thor 3, which, I mean, like, technically it all was, and then for Avengers 3, which, slash progressing this along with the movie. I mean, the whole reason why he has this bath dream is he's like, all right, I gotta make Vision,
Yeah.
I need a robot buddy.
What was weird to me is that if it is set up for Thor Ragnarok, wasn't that like 4 movies away? I mean, that's a long setup. I wasn't going into Ragnarok thinking about the Infinity Well dip scene. I wasn't thinking about that. I was going to see Ragnarok. But now that I did, and now that I rewatched this movie, I'm like, oh, cool. This is like foreshadowing 5 years / movies away. This is pretty nice, I guess. If Ragnarok came sooner, it would make sense. But I guess because they got Spider-Man, they had to push it back a little bit.
Yeah. They see everything.
Yeah. Your power will lead us to hell. Something
okay.
Like
so, yeah, we're sort of dragging here because we're going scene by scene. The next thing I want to talk about, which is a big subject, I feel like, bigger than the rest of the stuff that kind of happened, because we get the log splitting scene or whatever. But what did y'all think? We sort of touched on it, but not really. What did y'all think of Hulk and Black Widow's relationship? Besides them brushing over Betty Ross, what did you think about their relationship?
What else is there? God. I think it's okay. I think it was a little bit lazy for, them to do with Black Widow / Hulk. Like, these guys, Hulk's never going to get his own movie. Black Widow's never going to get her own movie. What should they do? They should, make out and cry that they're not going to have movies together or something. So, yeah. That's what they were talking about, right? In that bedroom?
Yep.
Where
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
they're
That's
like,
exactly what they were
I
talking about.
can't have movies. I can't have movies either.
Really insensitive.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's so great. Oh my god.
So yeah, I don't know. Like I felt like it was a little bit of, what should we do with the female character? She should get a boyfriend or something like that. Like, I think Black Widow's, I think technically, I don't want to say too strong to have a boyfriend, because that makes it sound like she can't have a sensitive side. But my thing was is that, I don't know. Like, there could have
He
been
just doesn't have time for that spit.
I I don't know. It's just like, yeah. Like, I felt it was a little bit along the lines of, after saying Winter Soldier and her like keep on like pushing Captain America with somebody, and then for
Yeah.
her not really getting with like Hulk was like so hypocritical. Like, she tried. I mean, she was like kind of leading him on and stuff like that. But like, I don't know.
I feel. Well, what do you think, Steven?
Well, I was gonna say, first of all, didn't SNL do a skit about that? That she like was
Gonna
kind of,
date Ultron.
yeah, gonna like a Devil Wears Prada kind of thing, 27 dresses almost kind of skit, where she's like wears a sweater the whole time. So if that they did kind of place her in that situation, but other people were saying that this is like the fourth Avenger she's flirted with or tried to get with, because she tried to get with Iron Man and Iron Man 2 and 3.
She didn't try to get with Iron Man.
Yeah, she kind of rejected him.
Well, yeah, but like she flirted with him,
No
basically.
way. Nuh-uh.
It may
I
have
didn't
been
get
part
that
of
at
the job,
all.
but she
I
also
mean,
did,
maybe in Tony's eyes.
yeah, in Tony's eyes, in Tony's fever dream. And then it was Hawkeye during the Avengers, and then it was Captain America during Winter Soldier, and now it's Hulk.
Wait,
Like
wait, what? What were
it
the other ones?
Avengers, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye? She never wanted to get with Hawkeye.
Well, that's what people are saying. They're like, "Oh, look, she tried to date Tony. She tried to date Hawkeye. She tried to date Cap. Now it's Hulk's turn. In Infinity War, she's gonna try to get with
Get,
Thor."
get out of here. People
Yeah, I feel
people
like
will ship anybody with anything. Like, she's like, Black Widow's gonna get together with Happy Hogan, or Black Widow's gonna get together with that vending machine from Winter Soldier,
yeah,
or something like that.
anytime somebody has one charismatic scene together, people will go nuts.
Yeah. So I felt like that's what I thought, was that because of, Black Widow. I mean, she technically says it too, like, out of all these like guys or something like that, she's interested in the guy who doesn't want to fight because he'll win or something like that, which I feel is like kind of a weird reason. I don't know. Who knows how Black Widow, mind works, but
She
or
got a
any
messed
woman
up
actually.
childhood. She got a messed up. So those kind of people are always difficult to read.
Which again, I guess we'll go back to that with everyone's kind of Scarlet Witch fever dream. Is that, but I don't know. It didn't work that well for me. I Out of every ship that I've seen kind of come out of these movies, I don't think that like Hulk and Black Widow has been very prominent. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
I mean,
but
I was gonna say my thoughts on it are
right.
I feel like her and Cap definitely had the best chemistry. Like, I really wanted to see them end up together, not just because of the ultimate cartoon, uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, just because of the chemistry. It was great. But like, after seeing, because I was with you guys, I agree with I agreed with you guys the first time I came out of this movie. I was like, man, this
Mm.
Hulk Widow thing was really out of left field. Um, but the more times I've watched this movie, like, I do sort of have taken a liking to it, just because they do relate with each other so much. Like, they both view themselves as these monsters, these uh, irredeemable persons who, they just,
Have too much red on their ledger.
I guess, yeah. Okay, so the next big thing is, I guess,
Her outfit's
Vision.
cool though. Her outfit was really cool toward the end.
I was gonna say Age of Ultron's outfit I think is the best one, right? It has all
Yeah.
like the blue glowiness to it.
It
It's
was
really
a little too leathery for me, kind of
good.
cosplay-ish, but
Yeah.
it was cool.
Thank you, Josh Whedon.
But yeah, the next big thing that happens in this movie, which we got to talk about, is Vision being born.
Yeah, I mean,
Happened just like it was yesterday.
I think we got some mic static going on.
someone's
I think.
breathing on it really hard.
Oh, is that me?
Got some
I don't
mic
That might be me.
static.
It could be me.
I'm gonna try to fix it. Don't worry.
All right.
I didn't want to say breathing, but yes, breathing.
Or someone's outside. If someone's outside, get back in. Sun's getting real low.
But yeah, like Vision
How about
is
that?
born.
Is that better? Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, great. Yeah, Vision's born.
And
Who are the parents again? Is it Ultron
it's kind of weird. He has
and
three dads,
Tony
four
and
dads.
Bruce and Thor?
We just won't ever tell him. We won't ever tell him the truth.
I feel like Thor's kind of the cool uncle.
Really? I feel
Because-
Thor is like,
Thor's the mom, definitely.
yeah, I feel like Thor's the mom.
No, Bruce is totally the mom. I feel like Thor's the cool uncle because he's like, Vision wants to be like him, so he puts on like the cape and he's like, "Oh, Thor's so cool! Like,
Well,
I wish
then
I could like swing hammers too." And then he's like, "Yeah,
Thor's the
You-
dad.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Ultron's the mom. Because Ultron created the body like a mom does, and Thor shot something that woke
Oh, okay. I knew it was gonna come to this. God,
He
knew
just
shot
somebody was gonna.
He
I was
got
gonna
on
say-
top.
Oh, too-
He mounted his
his
bed.
I was gonna say, I think Ultron's more like the mom though, because it's kind of like, or no, I think Ultron's like the dad, because it's kind of like the, like, oh, you're such a disappointment, Vision, and he's all like, you don't understand me, Dad. Humans are cool, or something like that. I feel like Tony, if anything, is like the drunk uncle. Like, there's a cool uncle, and then there's like the drunk uncle.
Yeah. And
But-
then
Everyone had that dynamic, right? That's a normal childhood I had. Anyway.
But yeah, I've always said that when I had first walked out of this movie, because it was my first viewing was more negative than positive of this movie, but I always said that when Vision came to life, for me, the movie came to life, and I still hold true to that statement. Like, it is probably by far one of my favorite scenes, and I always go back to it. Like Tim always says, if it's on TV, starting at this particular scene, I gotta watch it all the way through. I gotta shut my family up. I'm like, guys, shut up. Okay, Vision is talking, or rather, not talking, because like when he flies through the window, it's just silence, and I love that.
I'm just really glad they got Paul Bettany to get a more prominent role. I feel like than Jarvis, because I mean I think we mentioned this before. He didn't even like watch the Iron Man movies. Like he thought Iron Man was a robot when he was like recording for those movies. He's like, "What? I'm talking to some dude. Okay, named Tony Stark. All right. Hey, Tony Stark. Waffles or something. I don't know." And then he went like watch the movies. And then now it's like, "All right, we're gonna put you in a bunch of makeup and a costume." I thought that was really great for him to get his hand in there.
Yeah, and it was like the opposite of Dr. Manhattan being born, because I feel like when Dr. Manhattan was, basically created in Watchmen, he immediately started becoming like unhuman. He was like unhumanizing himself, and
Yes.
he started like becoming this god. Whereas Vision, he's looking out this window, and to me, the way I like to see the scene is he's totally looking at humanity. I don't know if he's like looking at them through like millions of cameras and whatnot, accessing like the internet, whatever, however you want to see it in your imagination. But yeah, he's totally looking at the world, and he's
All
just
the
been born.
weird websites. All the weird websites.
He's like, what is up with this fascination with feet? Get out of here. But
I swear I was on that site for 2 seconds.
yeah,
I feel
a
like
really great scene.
Vision. I think Vision again brings a very new, fresh thing to the table, and to get both Scarlet Witch and Vision in the same movie, really I think was a step in the right direction for again their dynamic that they share. I mean, we get a little bit, hint of it throughout the movie, and having again them being both kind of brought forth into the fray through the Mind Stone is like again such a wonderful storytelling kind of thing that the Marvel Studios did very well.
Let me ask you something. I love the scene, love the scenes, the whole dialogue, Vision debating his case between the Avengers, but then Bruce Banner comes up and he walks up to Vision and he says, and I'm quoting this because I wrote it down. He goes, "If we're wrong about you, if you're the monster that Ultron made you to be," and then he like gives a little pause, like and then Vision says, "What will you do?" But what? Why is Banner talking back about what he's done? He's done it. He's questioning it. Yet he created it. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, everyone's hands kind of got into the pie near the end. I'm sure he would be more confident about it if Captain America didn't break up all the stuff and Quicksilver didn't unplug everything and Thor didn't come smashing in and
dump his load.
Blasting. No, that's not what I was gonna say.
Oh, blasting right.
No. All right.
With his eyes.
Okay. Yeah. We do get that really great shot though. It's like 2 seconds, but it's of Vision looking at Thor and then slightly rolling his shoulders back and making that cape. I think Tim or somebody brought it up earlier. So yeah, I mean, look into his pops.
That's a cool scene. My thing was when he got out of the what do they call it? Is it a cocoon? What do they call it?
Casket.
You call it. Yeah.
Casket, yeah, or something like that. Is the heavy fog that rolls out because it's totally reminiscent about Vision's debut issue.
Yeah.
Of where he's like all huge and he's like the Avengers are and that's the fog creeping. I was like, oh my gosh, they're the mist or whatever it is. I was like, dude, that was super cool. I really appreciated that and that little extra touch.
Yeah. And speaking of that, like I'm really surprised because you had brought up how Ultron's brain patterns were based off of Hank Pym's. And I was saying that it was crazy that I didn't know that because I know that in the original comics, Vision's brain patterns were based off of Wonder Man. So it is kind of interesting. Like I'm wondering in the movie verse, I guess
Wonder Man is in the Mind Stone.
No. Is it so? Like, I guess my question for y'all is Vision's brain patterns? Is it a combination of Tony's and Ultron's, like digital and physical, or is it just the Mind Stone?
Well, I
think it's a mixture of Jarvis and the Mind Stone.
Right. It's definitely between Jarvis, Ultron, and the Mind Stone.
No, I don't think Ultron's in there at all.
Well, I wonder though if we have a Groot scenario going on here because, once Vision is born, we never really. Jarvis sort of, I don't know, he kind of like fades away. Like we never hear his name again. I mean, obviously, I don't know if they're going to call Vision Jarvis. That would be kind of weird.
I think that's why it's a mixture of Jarvis and the Mind Stone, though, because I feel like Jarvis has spent / been programmed enough with human tendencies,
and Tony tendencies.
Exactly. Tony is the having Jarvis spend so much time with Tony, which is kind of a uglier, douchier side of humanity. It's like I put up with his spit because technically he's a good guy, and at the bottom of it all, and then to be paired with the Mind Stone, who's like kind of curious and kind of questions everything is that like we get to this thing where he's like, I'm on the side of life, whether or not that I'm not on your side, so like that, like
Yeah.
humanity. But he again near the end where he talks about like the beauty of humanity at the same time. So I think it's a mixture of those two things. I don't think Tony's in there at all, and I don't think Ultron's in there at all. I feel like it's a mixture of Tony and the Mind Stone for Ultron, because with the Mind Stone, and I mean, again, I don't know how much of Tony, but I mean, they kind of just based it off of Tony's thing or whatever because of his plans or something like that. But I feel like the Tony mix with the Mind Stone is we get a bit of the lashing out as well as the it's kind of my way or the highway kind of mentality. And I think it speaks pretty well to the dynamic of more human one was the robot all along,
Yeah.
because it's the Jarvis side, whereas the Tony, the Ultron, who was based off like a human thing, was like destroy it all, and it was like okay.
Yeah. Before we move away from the subject, I do want to say that for everybody complaining about the recent Shazam costume, muscle suits work, and Vision is proof of that. Like, I don't understand the complaints. Like, whatever, but yeah, Vision is awesome. So let's move on.
I feel like everyone's thing is that the Shazam suit is too bright. I've been hearing like color like desaturated, and I'm like, oh my god, like that they're gonna throw on like maybe a Snyder filter or something like that, and that'll dumb it down. Like, chill
Well,
out.
yeah,
Like
I
you're
mean, the
saying
Man of Steel suit was super bright. It was just the
exactly.
cinematography that made it dull. But yeah, moving on. So we're getting into the final battle, and we get a lot of misdirects of Quicksilver, like nearly dying. And by the second time it happened, I was like, just freaking die already, dude. Like, come on.
Take the bullet. Just take that. I know you do.
Hey, I have a question for you guys since we're asking questions to each other, I guess now. I don't know. uh, has there ever been like a movie where the twins don't mention who was born X minutes before or after the other or something like that? Because I felt like throughout this whole movie, I was like, hey, this is a pretty good dynamic with twins. And then it was like, I'm blank minutes older than you. I was like, come on, really? Seriously? That trope again?
Yeah, it was a little bit uh
Like,
distracting or
I
detracting.
know, as a twin, I know it comes up a lot when people ask that to you, but you never say that like all the time where you're like, I'm this minutes older than you. I'm this minute. Yeah, we know. I know. I'm the other twin.
Did what were those characters from Teen Titans?
Mas and Menos.
Moss and Minos. Did they ever say it? I don't even think they ever brought it up.
I didn't speak Spanish as a kid, so I wouldn't know. They could have. They really
No, they
not.
no, they didn't. But
Um,
I was talking about movie. In movies, they always seem to do it.
yeah, I just can't think of any other twins in movies for some reason. I mean, I guess Parent Trap. I don't know if that counts. Does that? Those are. Oh wait, crap. Those aren't Olsens. Never mind. The Olsen. There are Olsen twins, right?
I,
But that's
I
a
was
different thing. Those twin movies confused the crap out of me when I was a kid. I was like, wait, does
I think they
Lindsay
still
Lohan
do.
have a twin?
I think they still do.
Is she real? Mom, is she real? Okay, so moving on. They're fighting Ultron. They're, clacking metal, and stuff is getting real. And we get a really cool shot of everybody. I'm jumping straight to the end. I'm sorry.
The slow mo.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And then everybody's using, jumping in on the beam train. They're like, oh, Tony's going to use his unibeam. I'm going to use my head beam. And then Thor's like, hey, I don't need a beam. I got lightning. I'm going to jump on that. And then I don't know what Black Widow was doing. She was just like, look at Hulk. He is looking good. Um,
looking like
But
a
yeah,
monster.
that scene was really, really cool.
The
What did you guys
Unibeam
think?
Skybeam one?
Yeah,
Really? Because I'm pretty
yeah.
sure Vision didn't even know he could do that 5 seconds ago. And then he was like, oh, cool. Let me just do what everybody else is doing. Thor's got a cape. I got a cape. Iron Man's beaming. I'm beaming. Like the only thing
Well,
that he could do
well,
was
we also. Oh yeah.
Oh,
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say real quick. I really liked Hawkeye's line where he was like, uh, "I could do it. Nobody would know," when he was aiming at Quicksilver
Oh
in the
yeah.
fight.
they're
And then I
done.
was like,
I wanted
and
him to
then
do it.
yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if he could hit him. I was like, I kind of want you to do it. But I totally think Jeremy Renner, when they like pitched the rough draft of Age of Ultron and stuff like that, was like, I don't know, guys. I was kind of brainwashed through like the whole first movie. Maybe I could be like the funny one in the next one, and like maybe have a hot wife or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that really their dynamic was way better between instead of Bruce Banner and Natasha, between Quicksilver and Hawkeye. I like them way better. I ship those two. I mean, they're dead, but it
Who
was
was it?
Quicksilver and Hawkeye. They had a way better dynamic than
Oh,
Bruce Banner and Natasha.
yeah. I thought it was
Deal with that one.
I thought it was pretty crazy how it kind of. I mean, I guess it made sense in the very short time of introducing like Hawkeye's the dad, and then therefore he like becomes sort of like a dad towards like Quicksilver and Wanda um, through this movie, where he's like gives the Avengers speech to Wanda and is kind of like always like giving Quicksilver,
Yeah.
uh,
Which
lip or whatever.
to me, his speech was somewhat weak, but it wasn't as weak as Cap's line afterwards, where he's like, "If you get hurt, hurt them back. If you get killed, walk it off." I was like, "What? Walk it off? I'm dead, dude. How am I? What? Are you even like listening to yourself right now? Do you
Did
know how to
Hey,
give speeches?"
hey, it's comic books.
Yeah,
That makes sense. That's good advice.
it was pretty bad,
It
but
was probably the worst one. Other than the whole language joke throughout the movie. Gosh, was that annoying.
That was another thing they drove into the ground. Like
Oh,
I really liked that. I really liked it.
I thought it was funny for like the first two times, but then I was like, all right, I kind of don't think it's funny anymore.
I'm
But
pretty
yeah,
sure
we did.
it's going to come up in Infinity War.
Oh, it has to.
Oh my god.
Steven was saying that Vision copied everybody, but we do get that little small moment of him phasing through an Ultron droid, and who was it that was freaking out?
War Machine, Rhodey.
War Machine, yeah.
That was awesome.
That was a really funny moment. He's like,
It
"What
was
the heck?"
War Machine.
It was so short though. It was so short that like I really wanted. Did he use it to save Wanda though toward the end? I don't think he did.
He didn't use it until like he was fighting Ultron bots. I think that's the only time he used it, when he was fighting Ultron bots.
Yeah.
And speaking of Wanda, she tears through these Ultron bots, like, and even towards the end when she confronts Ultron himself after Quicksilver finally dies. Yeah, like
Go
she
join your
finally
parents.
she finally unleashes just a little taste of her power, just a little.
What? It was her fault, right? Like she's the cause of Sokovia being killed and everything. Because it's not. And I'm not talking about the beginning, but she left her post. That's the whole.
With the whole like the place is gonna get fallen or whatever.
Yeah, like she was like, they would have had time. Everything would have been fine, but she was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get revenge. Let me leave my post and let me let the island fall, or the city fall, I should say. I'm like, dude,
Yeah, I could kind of see that.
could have just been punching one Ultron bot over and over again. Didn't have to leave your post. Somebody would eventually get him. and you could probably reanimate him and kill him again if you want to with your powers, which are totally non-describable. You know, you just have powers of some sort. You're like, I can get inside your head. I can move things. I can create spells. Like, seriously, just pass it to the Italian basically throughout this entire movie. They're like, give all the Ultron bots to Wanda. She can probably kill them or turn them good, see into their soul if they have one. I don't know.
Turn them into bunnies.
Oh, no doubt.
But yeah, like, speaking of her powers, I didn't realize, this is another thing I didn't realize till watching it this past time, that
one's red and one's blue.
Yeah, their powers,
so I thought
like,
that was really good.
look similar. I never like realized that. I'm so dumb. I'm not even joking right now. I never realized that their powers look so similar. I was like, wow, how did I miss this? Like, he's blue smoke and she's red smoke. So yeah, I feel really stupid.
Oh wait, that was really it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't realize like how smoky his powers looked though. I remember it just being like blurry for some reason, like a blur that kind of like remained and then faded, which it kind of was, but there was a lot of blue smoke. I was like, wow, there's a lot.
I felt bad that we didn't get a cool slow-mo scene like the other Quicksilver got.
The real Quicksilver, you mean?
Yeah.
The only Quicksilver?
Just how could he see? Because in the which one was it? Days of Future Past, we saw our Quicksilver, the real Quicksilver, use like goggles to run around and see, and not get water in his eyes. Was this Avenger Quicksilver just closing his eyes whenever he ran? They never really explained it.
Well, yeah, that's probably why he got shot.
No, because the real
I had my eyes closed. Oh, my chest really hurts.
That's why I didn't see it coming.
Oh man, sorry.
But yeah, so like what were you saying, Tim?
No, it's fine. Keep making fun of Quicksilver. My whole thing is that Quicksilver doesn't need dumb goggles. He never wore them in the comics. Like, what's the point of wearing them?
He wore a mask, though.
You got to get those steampunk fans.
No, he didn't wear a mask. Quicksilver never wore a mask.
No, he never did.
I want to say never wore a mask, but formally did.
Yeah. For me, they still haven't gotten Quicksilver's hair right. So if they get that right in the Phoenix, Dark Phoenix movie coming up, I will be thoroughly pleased with the real Quicksilver, and then I can die. Anyway, moving on. So Wanda rips Ultron's heart out, which was okay, but then Joss Whedon was like, how can I up that? Oh, I know. I'll just have Vision and Ultron totally like talking philosophical about humanity, and then he'll totally like blow his brains out. And it was amazing. You had the sunset in the background. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful shot. And, yes, I'm biased. I don't care because I love the Vision, and it's never going to stop, guys. I'm just going to keep on the Vision train. So what did you guys think of that?
I was going to say, do you think the actors actually played that scene out, or was it like almost all CGI?
No, I think they would have had to play it out. Like the look in Paul Bettany's eyes, like if he's not looking at now I'm forgetting the guy's name. James, what's his name? The guy that played Ultron. Hold on, I got it right here.
James Spader.
Spader. There you go. Thank you. If he wasn't looking at James Spader, like, dear God, it's even better if he wasn't looking at James Spader, to be honest. Like, if he's just looking at a green screen, Paul Bettany's the best. Like, I loved him in Knight's Tale even. Just, he's hilarious. He's got the acting chops. Just, I don't know how he hasn't won anything. Maybe he hasn't. Maybe I haven't looked at his IMDb long enough, which I probably shouldn't, because it's borderlining stalking. So, anyway, what did you guys think of the dialogue, though? Wasn't it like really great?
I'm afraid to say otherwise.
What? Really? Tell me.
It was great. The jokes that I find that Vision became more jokey as the movie progressed, and Ultron, who started off jokey, kind of became more serious toward the end. And I guess you do have to become more serious when you're about to die. Which, okay, first of all, does he die, or does
Yes.
Vision like put him in the Mind Stone? Because I really think he puts him in the Mind Stone.
No, he doesn't do.
Ultron's dead.
He like
Neither
sucks him up.
happens.
He
To me,
sucks him
neither
up.
happens because in Homecoming, Peter pulls out the Ultron head and it's glowing red still.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's totally like the brake lights or something.
When we get to Homecoming, because we're already getting into too many movies right now. But yeah, when we get to Homecoming, I'm gonna make a note right now.
Speaking of Doctor Strange, no.
But yeah, like I think to your point about him becoming more humorous and Ultron becoming more cynical, like that needed to happen because again, not Ultron, Vision. This is him like not only learning about humanity, but he's becoming more human, and that's made very clearly in the upcoming films and films we've already seen.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. All the villains are coming back in Infinity War through the stones. I mean, Red Skull through the space stone, Ronan through the Power Stone, Malekith through the Reality Stone, and Ultron through the Mind Stone. They're all coming back in an Infinity War.
Malekith got killed by a falling ship. He's not coming back.
No, but he still had the ether with him, though. They didn't.
No, he didn't.
Suck the ether out.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh.
They're all coming
Steven, you've been preaching this for a very long time, and
since I was 5 years old.
I still don't know if I can believe it. I still don't know because it would take a lot for them to pull off. But if they pull it off and do it good,
there's no way
God,
that
I will be.
There's no way they get James Spader and like what's
I don't know, Tim. I don't know.
Who's the Red Skull guy
in this already? They're getting all the Avengers and Guardians.
My point is that there's no way they got him on set without that leaking.
No, dude. It's going to be Interstellar Matt Damon. You're going to be shock and awe when you see it in your theater.
Yeah.
Interstellar with Matt Damon. You're not going to see it coming.
I'm still leaning with Tim, but like I said, I will be on the floor if it happens. Like, I don't even know if I'll be crying or what will be happening, but all I can say is I'll be on the floor, like in a little ball, fetal position. Okay, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I am.
What about Nick Fury?
As always, and I'm forgetting the end credit scene. Yeah, Nick Fury was kind of there, but not really.
Nick Fury with the whole, I don't know what you call it, Mufasa. Oh yeah, the Deus Ex Machina with the whole helicarrier thing, which I guess tied in with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. during that point.
And it involved an entire season just to get that helicarrier, first off.
Oh,
that helicarrier was a very important character in that season. So it was important. I would say that if you didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it was an Ex Machina kind of thing with Nick Fury. But if you did watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you saw this coming out, you're like, oh, snap! That's what was going on with Coulson and him being the director and also him having alien powers.
But we won't mention it because he's dead in the Avengers' eyes. Because we lied about that. And if we find out they lied about us, they wouldn't hang out with us anymore.
But don't worry, we got Patton Oswalt. Yappity dappity doo. That's Patton Oswalt's catchphrase, right? That's his catchphrase?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. That's all. I just wanted to make sure that he got mentioned because he is in the title sequence.
It's true. Yeah, it is true.
I definitely am super upset that we don't have that statue that shows up in the end credits.
Dude,
for sale yet.
You know who has that statue? Probably Kevin Feige. That was his. He's like, no. None of you fanboys are getting this statue. Okay, you get everything else. I'll give you, your hot toys. You get that. You get your legends. We got plans. All right.
It doesn't even have to be like made out of like actual rock or anything. Like just 3D print that thing. Let's go.
If
Dude,
he ever gets, if he ever wins an award at the Oscars, they can't give him an Oscar. They have to give him that statue. It's just mandatory. It's mandatory at this point.
I'm super upset there hasn't been a comic book movie yet. That was one awesome.
Well, I mean, Suicide Squad, right, guys?
Oh my god.
All right.
suck it,
Perfect.
Marvel.
Perfect segue.
Suck
Final thoughts,
it.
guys. Let's get into final thoughts. Let's start off. I think we started talking about the movie with Steven, so let's start this time with Tim. What are your final thoughts on Avengers Age of Ultron?
Oh man, totally was not ready.
I'm
Let
ready.
me think. Whoosh. Like I said, I walked into this movie really hoping that I guess my hopes were just a little too high. Like I guess that makes sense. But I did come out of the feeling I did come out of the movie theater feeling a little bit of a lackluster. But at the same time, I still pretty much enjoy it. Like if I see it come on TV, I feel like I don't know if it's better than the first one because I feel like the first one did a really good job of, again, that global phenomenon of bringing it to life. And with this one, it feels like, again, it's just kind of the segue slash path to what we know is going to be Infinity War because of that like end credit scene with Thanos in the first Avengers. So it's like, this isn't, this isn't the end for a lot of these characters. So I felt like there wasn't really a lot of stakes in that sense. Hawkeye was like probably the only stake that I was like feeling. And then when Quicksilver happened, I was totally blindsided. And again, I didn't see that coming. But yeah, the dialogue I think was adequate. I mean, Whedon does a pretty good job of making these things flow very well. The action sequences really, the highlights of them were these crazy team ups. I mean, Thor and Captain America when he hits the shield and it bounces around, or like when he hits it and makes that shock wave. As
Or
well as like,
how about the scene when they were all fighting depowered in the mansion after Ultron comes out? That was cool.
Ultron in the mansion.
Right, in the Avengers mansion when they were like having a drink and Ultron comes out and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
nobody
When
had
they were all
anything.
without the costume. Yeah, yeah.
That was cool.
I liked how like, yeah, that whole Hydra base scene where like Captain America's driving around on his motorcycle and then like throws it. Like that was crazy, I thought. I mean, Captain America on a motorcycle, coolest thing. Um, yeah, it's not perfect, I think, but um, there was a lot of subplot just for the buildup again of what I thought and I still think is better things to come. However, I think this movie is a great standalone film. Yeah, and I think it accomplishes kind of what it set out to do: set up a story, yet at the same time being entertaining enough on its own. I think I would give this though around maybe.
Are we rating it?
Yeah, this is a rating,
Is it?
right?
Yep. Final
Nope.
thoughts rating.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Final thoughts and
All right.
ratings.
Oh, I got to pull it over there. All right.
Ouch! Get it.
There we go. Sorry, go ahead.
Uh, I'm stuck between 4 and 5. I don't
Yeesh.
want to give it a half.
Yeah, I know. I'm really bad about the halves. I probably am gonna have to go back and edit those. But anyway,
I'd give this one a 4.
A 4.
4 out of 6.
4 out of 6. All right.
Yeah. I feel like that's a little bit of a medium thing, and that's what kind of what I feel about this movie. Or at the same time, like if this was on versus the first Avengers, I think I would watch the first Avengers.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Steven, let's get to you. Your final thoughts.
All right. For me, it was a lot of people had problems with Iron Man and Ultron in this film. They're like, what's going on? This is Iron Man's fault, purely Iron Man's fault. Nobody else's. This is not an Avenger problem. This is an Iron Man problem that escalated into an Avengers problem. But the thing that we have to keep in mind is that this is after Iron Man 3, where he did the clean slate protocol, which many people were like, wait, if he did that, how is he still Iron Man? But the clean slate protocol in Iron Man 3 wasn't the decision not to be Iron Man anymore. It was the decision to stop making suits out of fear. It's like, what if this happened? I got to have a suit. What if this happened? I got to have a suit. It wasn't. So he stopped making it out of fear, but instead started helping the world so that it doesn't need the Avengers. That's the plan, right? World peace, something like that. You know, we have to win the fight so we don't have to fight anymore, kind of thing, where you're talking to Cap, chopping wood while an enemy is destroying the world, basically trying to hack into some nukes, and you're chopping wood. I can't get over that. I love the scene. I love it. Wrong
Well,
movie.
what's he gonna do? We already know from the first Avengers he's not good with like computers or anything.
Well,
He can't help out in this, hacking hackathon. He can't do anything.
punch something. I swear, punch something. I can't deal with it. When that's my other
He
problem.
is punching something. He's punching wood.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But that's my problem is that this is supposed to be the age of Ultron. Ultron's supposed to, at least rule a little bit. I don't think anybody knew he existed for a while. Only the Avengers knew he existed, plus the Maximoff twins, and that's it. And then for a second, he lifted the city. Nobody really saw him. A bunch of people saw some Ultron robots that looked like Iron Man come out of the ground and started punching people left and right. But that's about it.
Yeah, how many people probably don't know that like that whole thing happened by a robot? And then how many people know that that robot was created by one of the Avengers?
Exactly. Like it's gonna backtrace all toward the end of the movie. But still, I just didn't like the way Ultron was done in this film. But I love the look of Ultron. I love his talking. It's just his motives. And the fact that they found out his motives based on a little kid's coloring page, like, look, mommy, I made a butterfly. That's it. That's the plan all along. He's been doing it. It's right in front of our faces. A butterfly. He wants change. I'm like, what? You got that all from the children's book? Really? I don't know. I guess. That being said, though, I still love it. I still really like it. So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 6. There's no doubt that this is an Avengers movie. It's not like something else, a solo film. This is an Avengers movie. They're all together. They're all fighting. It's great.
So wait, what did you rate? What was your rating for the first Avengers movie, not the first
It's
Avenger,
right there.
but
It's just right there if you click.
I can't see it.
It's 5 out of 6. It's 5 out of 6.
Okay, five. Okay, so you're rolling with fives. Okay.
I'm just rolling with fives.
All right, my final thoughts. Usually in the past, I have based movie like my rating on first viewings with a combination of my take on it now. With this one, it's going to be more of how I look at this movie now, just because when I had first seen it, I was more on Tim's side. It was really negative, like I've said before. But again, going back to my New Hope Empire reference, this movie to me, I have come to appreciate more with over time. And again, it goes hand in hand with Civil War, hence my, New Hope Empire Strikes Back reference. But yeah, like you can't have one without the other. This one sets up so much, and some of it, like more on Thor's side, was just set up for the sake of setup. But a lot of the setup in this was really handled nicely. A lot of the dialogue while it was kind of quirky to me at first, I have come to appreciate that as well. Still not a fan of the Wonder Twins, mostly just because of their performance. I feel like the characters themselves aren't weak in any way, but they could have had more weight to them had they had better actors possibly behind them, and probably a better background and all of that, as I mentioned before in the review. But yeah, there are a lot of strong points. Like all of the action, as you guys have mentioned, is really strong. Ultron's motives, I feel, are very strong. Like, I get it. He has a rubber mouth. It bothers me too. Some of his dialogue is kind of weird. But to me, he is a contender with Loki, and he is a good Avenger rival. Um, could they have done something more with him just lifting up a city? Maybe, but for the sake of time, I see why they did that. It was a pretty big thing, a big epic event that was happening, but it was kind of too contained. He could have probably done something more on a grander scale. But anyway, yeah, all of the relationships were really good with amongst the characters themselves. Again, I've come to appreciate the Widow and Hulk relationship a little bit more. Vision is obviously a plus. Like, I can't stress that enough. All of his dialogue, Paul Bettany's performance, I got nothing to say more than that. I think I gave the first Avengers a 4.5, which I guess is really a 4 because you guys said we aren't doing halves. So
You can do halves. You can do halves.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. I feel weird about it now.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, we got to be accepting 2018, apparently.
I know. I personally never half-ass something. I always whole-ass something.
So I'm gonna give this, rather than doing points or whatever, some point system, I'm gonna give this a soft 5, just because I really do think that this is a stronger film than the first Avengers movie. The dialogue is still kind of weird, a little bit weak, but it's a lot better than the first Avengers movie. Even though Cap's line is probably worse than any dialogue Nick Fury gave in the first Avengers movie, but like he gave a lot of it, and that Cap's line was just like one line.
Which line?
The line that I said earlier about him, he's like, if you get hurt, hurt him back. If you get killed, walk it off. I'm drunk, guys. I'm drunk. I'm sorry.
Cap, keep him busy. What do you think I've been doing?
But yeah, I think the team up scenes were a lot better. And
did we talk about that awesome train stopping scene?
Oh my gosh, no.
You mean Spider-Man 2, basically?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just get the people out of the way. Zoom.
Any more bright ideas?
As Tim always says, rewatchability. I would definitely rewatch this one like 50 times over the first Avengers movie. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are of different opinion, but yeah. 5 out of 6 gems.
I was going to say, speaking about different opinions, should we head on to the negative zone now?
I think we have time for one.
I have 2, but okay.
You got 2? Okay, yeah, let's just roll with 2.
All right. This one, probably a lot of people agree with the doc on this one, is that a lot of people really like this film. So I know I joke all the time that it was hard finding negatives reviews of this one, but for real, this one was really hard to find a negative review. Okay. I got one from Matt _Hugh. Get it? Because spells Matthew. Oh, you're hilarious, Matt _Hugh. Freaking idiot. It's from May.
Okay.
Just really upsetted me. I'm like, oh, you suck. May the 10th, 2016, 3 out of 10 stars, titled Same as the First Movie, but with robots. Remember the first synopsis of the Avengers movie? A baddie in control of the Tesseract uses it in an alien army to try and take over the planet. Whilst this is happening, the Avengers are brought together where there are a few internal issues involved having their mind controls and or beating each other up before joining forces to beat the alien threat. Well, this movie is about a baddie who was in control of the Tesseract, which then becomes the catalyst for a new robot baddie and its robot army trying to destroy the planet. This again creates a few internal issues involving the Avengers having their minds controlled and or beating each other up before joining forces to beat the robot threat. It's just the same movie repackaged again, which tries to be intelligent but comes across dull. And when Tony Stark's spare armor can defeat Hulk, and then Hulk defeats the movie's main villain with a single punch, it kind of makes your villain ridiculous. Especially also after he hit Captain America in the chest with his quote-unquote laser, and all it does is bump him out of a truck. We thought he was transforming himself into the next evolution, something very dangerous. Well, that was an evolution into uselessness oblivion. Some of the Avengers' presence have little or no point in the beginning of this movie. Hawkeye was just being there, for example, to offer the others a weekend retreat to go to. I wish Josh would wake up and remember how to write characters and plots again. Buffy used to cost $1.1 million per episode. Firefly used to cost $2 million per episode, and they were great. Ultron cost over $2 million per minute of running time, and it's crap. But as with the first movie and the upcoming Captain America Civil War, it seems as long as the movie is crammed full of as many superheroes as possible, they all kick off at some point during the movie, and then this is enough to keep an audience happy. Stick with the X-Men, at least they make an effort.
Oh, what? The X-Men are terrible movies.
Yeah,
Well,
talk about one note.
I would say
characters.
definitely, compared to the Marvel movies, at least. I think that's the problem of having this Marvel formula that, a lot of the movies stick to, is that it does kind of get old hat at some point. However, I feel like comparing this to, like, no offense, TV shows like Buffy and Firefly is like just two totally different calibers.
Yeah.
To me, the comparing it to the first movie, I don't see how. I don't know. At least in my opinion, I don't see how this one is weaker than the first movie because these are robots we're dealing with. So I feel like it was more believable with this whole hive mind scenario going on, where if you destroy the main, motherboard, if you will, or whatever, that, the other drones will follow suit. So with the first Avengers, I get that it was rehash, but with the first Avengers movie, them being aliens, to me, it was a little bit weirder because I didn't know that they were like cyborgs almost, or I guess like, parademons, where they're like biotech, whatever you want to call it.
Hive mind.
Yeah. And so it was kind of jarring where it was just like a plot device to me, it seemed like, but this one seemed it fit.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It worked. Get $1 billion here, get $1 billion there. You gotta make money for the mouse. Okay, I got a last one. I don't have a name. Tim or Chaz, you want to do something with a name?
Call him
Pietro.
Yeah, there you go. We're
Okay.
probably going to want to put a bullet in him, maybe, possibly,
Okay.
depending on his review.
Several bullets. Okay,
Hypothetical bullets, everybody. Hypothetical.
don't 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 put bullets in each other. Uh, Petro, the bullet eater, says, instead of writing a really clever movie, we should just go through in a bunch of one-liners and some images that the audience is going to jerk off to. Why make a piece of
Whoa.
why make a piece of art when we can make lots of money? My mate fell asleep next to me. I found myself battering my head into the headrest, and a geeky guy to my left kept cackling at the references that most there didn't understand. They kept coming, and I knew that they were there because I would hear 3 or 4 nasal geeks cackle at them. In a full theater, everyone looked bored. So if your age starts with a 1 and has no more than another digit to follow, you might be entertained and amused about all these effects virtually in every single scene. But if you expect a little bit more from a movie, like well-developed characters, a good story with a consistent plot, and something to entertain your intellect, this would not become the best choice. Despite this short review, I'm big enough to stick my hand up in the air and say this movie isn't produced for grumpy middle-aged men like myself. It's produced for younger people who can't get enough superhero movies, and for this market, the prospective audience will probably love it so much that it will be a big contender for the biggest grossing film of 2015 and will be getting more Marvel movies for the foreseeable future.
Wow.
I love how well thought out it was, and the fact that he was like, "All right, if your age starts off with a 1, and oh dang it, if like start off with a 1, they could be like 100 years old. Okay, and then follows by a single digit. There, got him. Perfect.
My intellect is higher now. I hate that word. I hate that word so much just because of it being used like that.
It sounds like it was written by some kind of fusion weird mixture of MODOK and Lumpy Space Princess. Or at least the way you read it. At least the way you read it. I was like, I'm
I
envisioning this
was
person, what they look like.
It
I
was
was
the
gonna say I imagine it just like how he described himself, a grumpy middle-aged man.
if you're not taking your children to go see this, you probably shouldn't watch it, grumpy old man.
Well, no, I think he made a dumb but fair observation, whereas if you're a nerd or a fan of comic books that gets the references that are made for you to get. I mean, that's the whole point of a reference. Like, if you're gonna get it, then yeah, go watch it. And if you're upset that how dare they get a reference that I don't understand, why didn't they make the references for everyone to understand? Go read a comic book. Like that. This is kind of like the dumbest reasoning I've ever heard for a review.
I don't know. I think
I'm
uh,
gonna say they didn't make a movie for everyone. How dare they make a movie, you know, directed toward a certain demographic?
yeah. I mean that is what all movies are though, man. I mean, you're going through a Marvel movie that says Avengers, so there was a second one. There was the Avengers, then Avengers Age of Ultron. This is a sequel. If you didn't go see it, then you shouldn't be upset if you find out you don't understand it.
Well, I think he's talking about like obscure references, like the one.
Were
Yeah,
there obscure references?
Maybe the hot tub Thor time machine baby bath.
Baby bath, baby, baby Thor bath.
Bed Bed Bath and Beyonder.
yeah.
The dumb joke.
Yeah. I actually didn't hear any criticism about the movie. I just kept hearing stuff about money and making money, and that's the world we live in, dude, is people make money. Fortunately, like at least these people are trying to please not just nerds, but like we were saying, everybody. Like they're trying to make great stuff, make great art.
Yeah,
So
that's all I got though for negative zones. There was a couple more, but like you said, Doc, they basically said the same thing. Money, money, money. Can't believe this is the highest grossing thing. Can't believe this is the top 27th most gross income of a movie. I don't know how money works, but they were talking about bills and dollars and taxes and all that.
yeah, somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Morgan Freeman who like actually admitted like, yeah, I did this role for money. He was like, sometimes you got to get a paycheck, and I was
What, is
like,
Morgan Freeman in this movie?
no, 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 no. It was some other movie, but I was just like, at least he's being honest. Like he's not saying that he phoned it in because it was I forget which performance it was. It wasn't one of the
Oh,
Batman
just
movies.
just a reasoning to pick up.
Yeah, it was like some other movie, but he
It's
was like
probably the
fairly.
Penguin movie.
It, it
Anything
was
to do with penguins. Morgan
it was
Freeman.
something. Yeah, I think it might have been actually. It was definitely after the Batman films, but he didn't phone in his performance, but he just said, I did this for the money, and I was like, all right, cool, you're being honest. I do my job for the money too.
Yeah, and hey, if it makes money, then that's money. That makes the world go round.
And it
That
also makes the fig world, fig life stay alive.
yeah,
I
it
mean, you
brings
might
you
be starving and, bank account is destroyed, but if it's for the figs, anything for the figs. All right.
Do you need to go talk to somebody? I think we gotta get you an appointment with like a financial expert or something.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We're going good. Everything's fine over here.
All right, if you say
I'm
so.
in the negative. It's all right. It's
All
only a
right.
little bit. It's only a couple of digits. What did that guy say? Just a few digits.
Just one digit past one. Yeah.
It's three digits to the left. No, wait, right. How do I count again? Okay, so I think it's time to send this episode off right. Let's see where we can find everybody. Steven, where can people find you on the interwebs?
On your mobile devices, you may be able to find me under an app called Instagram. It's a brand new app that you just got to type in _nerdtron. That's where I'm at. Hopefully, I and we ourselves take the Watchers Week Instagram a little bit more above than what it is, and also I'm trying to work on mine. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'll be commenting on your posts. You don't see me, but I'm there. Yeah, I'm on
All right.
stream.
And Tim, where can they find you?
They can find me at Fishbone Malone on Instagram. Currently, I'm entered into the Photo Combat Third Strike tournament for ACBA photography. If you're not sure what that is, go check out Articulated Comic Book Art on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and go check it out. There's a bunch of great artists there. The CEO and founder, or one of the founders, co-founder, I don't know. Boog, he's a real cool dude. Yeah, go check him out on YouTube. Does some great stuff. I'd also like to take this moment to suggest to everyone go support your local comic book shops. If you're really a fan of the Marvel movies, but you're not sure where to jump into comics, go visit a local comic book shop and chop it up with one of the people that work there. They'll totally help you get along and get into the world of comics to get you into something you're interested in. Same
Definitely.
thing for yeah, I was gonna say same thing for people who are a fan of comics. Drop on by, see what's up.
Except grumpy old.
Exactly. Middle-aged,
Yeah,
grumpy old man.
jumping off of that, because I really appreciate that sentiment. Like, if you're looking for something to read, I always gravitate towards graphic novels because I feel like they're complete. If you're looking into hardbacks for something that won't crinkle over time,
Yeah.
I mean, graphic novels are awesome. And I just found out that the Sandman universe is coming this year it's going to be crazy.
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all have been keeping up with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're getting Sandman universe. We're getting Adam Warlock, which I got the first issue of. Really great stuff. Mike Allred killing it once again as he did on Silver Surfer. There's so many great comics out there that you guys got to start reading, especially indie comics. I don't know if anybody has heard of Steam Wars. It's pretty dope, a really cool homage, especially if you're a steampunk fan. But yeah, get on that. What I've been working on myself is definitely reading comics, and now I've just started up on some cosplay that I'm working on. So I haven't posted too much. Again, I apologize. I had to apologize last week because my Instagram has been dead. If you want to find me, you can find me at Dr. Cosmic on Instagram. It will be. I'll be posting soon. I'm sorry, but I've been real busy with that stuff. But speaking of ACBA, because Tim also brought that up, Galactic Trading Post.com for all you Star Wars fans. Oh my gosh, they are thebomb.com when it comes to dioramas.
This
Definitely.
episode was sponsored by.
No way, shape, or form are they sponsoring me. I wish I could, be blessed with their force or whatever. But yeah, their dioramas are killer, and so yeah, my like I said, my bank is it's not hurt yet, but it's fixing to get hurt. Like it's on the precipice of getting very hurt between cosplay, comics, and now this. I'm like having to choose. It's either this or food, and it's getting really tough. Anyway, Dr. Cosmic, find me on Instagram. That does it for this episode, guys.
Yeah.
Tune in, and next week will be. What are we doing? What's the sketch? Who got it?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Start of phase 3.
What?
Isn't
It's
it?
like a
Or
yeah, it's
or
like a
phase
limbo. It's
what
phase
is
2 technically, but to me it's kind of like a phase two
phase
and a
2?
half,
Oh,
two
right.
point five.
I knew it was start of a different phase, but I forget. If you guys want to be caught up or you want to know when the next episode gets put up, you can subscribe to us. You can also follow us on Instagram at Watchers Week. We put up a post on there every time we throw in a extra episode, another episode up. If you like this video, make sure to like it so that way we know what content you guys appreciate. If you guys didn't, don't forget to hit that dislike video and leave a comment, whether giving a support or criticism. We'll accept either one. So that way we can shape this channel into the content that you guys are gonna find entertaining.
We will take the reality stone and shape it into the perfect vision. There you go. I just referenced everything.
Hey, boom.
All right, so yeah, y'all come back next week. Y'all keep on listening, and we'll keep watching.